What's going on with you? What's new?
Not much.
I hate the idea of you down there by yourself all the time. Just drinking.
I'm fine. I appreciate it. But I'm fine.
I know you're suffering. I just want you to be happy again. But you gotta want it too.
You guys earned this tonight. In the end. Oh my goodness, the show.
The Way Back stars Ben Affleck, and it is written and directed by Gavin O'Connor. Ben Affleck and Gavin O'Connor have worked together before on a movie that I thought was good called The Accountant. Gavin O'Connor made another movie that I love called Warrior, starring Tom Hardy.
Don't give him your back! Don't Cover up, damn it!
I want to start off with the directing in this movie because Gavin O'Connor, I believe, is a very skillful director. There was one scene in particular in this movie where Ben Affleck's character goes to a bar, he's down on his luck, and he starts drinking very heavily after having an outburst at one of his team's games, and they kick him off the court, and he just starts drinking again because he's depressed. And he leaves the bar with a woman, and he's in his pickup truck, and as he's driving down the street, he's kissing this woman, and we already know what's going to happen. He's going to have an accident. I thought he was going to hit someone. But the way Gavin O'Connor directs this shot, from the outside of the truck, you see the truck going down the street, and the truck just BAM! And that scene got a reaction out of me, even though I knew it was coming. You know, but the way it was directed, I thought was very skillful. So I feel like Gavin O'Connor knows what he's doing as a director. He knows how to create an atmosphere with a lot of the projects that he does. And so with this, there's no exception. If that makes any sense, I really enjoyed Gavin O'Connor directing this movie, and I thought he did a very good job sucking me into the story, into the atmosphere. The strongest factor, besides Gavin O'Connor directing, is Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck pretty much carries this movie on his shoulders. His character does a lot of drinking. Like, there's one scene in particular where this pastor asked Ben Affleck to coach this basketball team, and he doesn't know exactly what to say, so he's just grabbing beer after beer after beer after beer. It's like 100 beers this guy's downing. And it's very depressing. And then there's a scene where Ben Affleck, you know, he's crying and tears come out of his eyes, and there's scenes where he gets really angry and frustrated, and it's very believable. Like, another scene comes to mind is towards the beginning where he's talking to his sister, and his sister asks him a question, and then he's like, why can't people mind their own effing business? And he just like flips out, not to an extreme level, but just like he has a little outburst, and it made me feel the emotion in my heart. I want to compare this movie to Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage, because they kind of have a similar premise, pretty much, about a guy who is just seriously depressed. This is a seriously depressing movie. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's like, once he's up on his high note, he just goes right back down into the bottom of the bottle, all the chaos starts happening, and he comes back up again, and he's high on life, and then he goes back into the bottle, and depression is all over the place. So Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas, he's drinking so heavily in that movie, and Ben Affleck, I would say, gives Nicolas Cage a run for his money, and you know, and it's just like, he's just constantly drinking. This movie's so depressing. This is a depressing movie. There are a lot of high notes in here. Like, there are some scenes where Ben Affleck, you know, he accepts to be the coach for the team. And I like these little text on the screen where it shows you how many points each team got. So then as the story progresses, you see the team and how Ben Affleck as a coach, he's inspiring them to do better, and their points start going up. And we do see some other characters in this movie who have backstories. We don't go into too much depth with the team, certain players on the team. We don't get too much information about them. We get a couple of things from a few of the team members. I really feel like there could have been more development with that. But we mostly focus on Ben Affleck and just watching him going through his struggles in life. He's a construction worker. He's just your average everyday guy, and he's just going through a lot in his life, and the team inspires him and he inspires the team. So it's pretty predictable. But, Ben Affleck and Gavin O'Connor working together here really makes this movie special, I feel. It really sucks you in. The performance and the directing, I feel, are the two strongest factors. But yeah, as far as everybody else acting in this movie, I thought they did a believable job as well. So there are a lot of elements that work in this movie regardless of its predictability. It's depressing, it sucks you in, great acting, great directing, all the elements in here just work. So my verdict for this movie is it's good. This is a good movie. It is very depressing, so just be prepared for that, because when you go into this thing, he's drinking. He's just drinking nonstop. Even when he's coaching the team, he's drinking. He's slipping vodka in his drinking, and even when the pastor and the other coach confront him about his drinking problem, he denies it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's outrageous. And then I also liked a little element sprinkled in here where one of the team players gets kicked off the team, and then he wants to rejoin the team, so he goes to Ben Affleck's house, and he's asking for forgiveness, and at first Ben Affleck denies him, but then once the team player keeps trying and Ben Affleck accepts him, he's like, okay, I'm letting you back on the team. Then there was another element like that, but with Ben Affleck, when the pastor and the other coach were confronting him and he was asking for forgiveness. So there are a lot of nice elements in here. Yes, it is 100% predictable. You know what's coming every turn around the corner. You know what's going to happen. But like I said, Ben Affleck carries this with his performance. Gavin O'Connor carries this with his directing. The side characters do a great job. We don't get a lot of info with the team players, but we get a couple of things which are good that affect Ben Affleck as a character. So there's a lot of elements in this movie that work for it, even though it is a very, very, very depressing movie. It's an emotional roller coaster. And that's all I have to say. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.